Hello, everybody. I, of course, am Millers. This is In the Dugout FM, and you join me on the 9th of January 2025. Julen Lopetegui has been let go at West Ham, and they've brought in one Graham Potter. Julen Lopetegui, I think, managed to get 8 months in the game within West Ham. They're currently halfway through, 20 games played. If I just have a very, very quick look at the table in terms of how they're performing, right? They've 20 games gone, 23 points, and they are 7 points clear of the relegation zone. So not the season I don't think the West Ham fans would have wanted, nor the season the West Ham owners clearly wanted, right? Because they've let him go. And they've brought in one Graham Potter. Graham Potter's been out of work for about 21 months since he left Chelsea, taking some time to reflect, looking to try and get back into the game. He felt like this was the right opportunity. He's done that. He's come in and he's brought in Bruno as his assistant manager. We've brought him in too into the game. We've brought in Graham Potter to West Ham. We're going to start the season from the start of this current season to give him a transfer window. And we're going to see just how well Graham Potter will do in charge at the Hammers. Okay, here we go. You can see Graham Potter has been brought in to take over at the Hammers. There he is, all shiny and new with his lovely face there. Look at him, ready and raring to go. He's been brought in. Julen Lopetegui's been let go. And as I said, we have also brought Bruno in using the editor. So if we just have a very quick look, there he is. Look, Billy Reid is retained as assistant manager. That's what he said in his press conference this morning. They're going to keep Billy Reid around the place, familiar face. But we've also brought Bruno in, who he's worked with, of course, at Brighton. He now comes in as well to work as one of his coaches on the grass at West Ham. He's taken over the club. It's the start of the season, okay? So nothing's changed in terms of transfers other than the ones that were done prior to the 3rd of July. No future transfers are arranged. So a very, very quick look at the first team squad. You'll see exactly who's who. Fabianski's there, Areola's there, Aaron Wan-Bissaka's in the van. That's a great signing for them, by the way. Edison Alvarez, very, very, very good player. James Ward-Prowse has gone out on loan, so okay, fair enough. He's at Forest. But a very decent side. Mohamed Kudus, he's come in as well, of course. Nicholas Fulkrug, good centre forward, big lad, someone you can hit. It's going to be very interesting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run this now until the end of September when the transfer window is done and dusted. And I will come back to you once that's concluded and we'll see just how active Graham Potter's been in the transfer market and how West Ham have started the season. Okay, here we are. We are at the end of August, so the transfer window should just be about to slam shut. Graham Potter has still got a job. That's a good start, right? So there's no problems there. He's still in employment. And it looks like he started pretty well. All right, it's 3 games, but he's played 3 games and he's won 2 of them and drawn the other. So he's currently unbeaten. He's gone to Villa and got a win. He played Bournemouth at home, beat them, and then he travelled to Molineux and got a 1-1 draw, putting him in very, very good stead. Remarkably, currently Ipswich are top. That's mind-blowing. Beat Newcastle, beat Villa, and beat Bournemouth. Villa have had an absolute stinker of a start, so I'm not entirely sure that one Unai Emery will last very much longer. But there we go. What a great start. Anyway, West Ham, how are we doing? Transfers. Let's have a look then. Let's have a look. So we know this is where we were. So he has been active. He's brought in 3 players. He's brought in Rafinha on a free transfer, the 30-year-old attacking midfielder. Not the worst signing in the world. He's brought him in on a free. He was previously out there in Qatar, having gone there from PSG. So he's brought him in on a deal, on a free transfer. Talisca he's brought in from Saudi Arabia as well. Another Brazilian, again, attacking midfielder, maybe can play wide right. Very interesting. And he's also brought in Jesus Vallejo, a good, solid, strong centre-half, 6 foot, strapping lad, Spanish, can definitely do a job. So, yeah, very, very pleased with that. He's joining West Ham, though, next year. He's not joining immediately. He's joining next year, so that's not going to affect the current season. I'm assuming that isn't the case for the other 2. Let's just have a quick check. No, he's already in the squad. That should be Rafinha. Correct. Transfers in, boxed. Okay. In terms of transfers out, has there been any activity? Only a couple of loans, so nothing massive there. He's not let anybody go. Let's have a quick look then at the senior squad. How are we playing? We're playing 4-2-3-1. Standard setup, really. Talisca straight in the side. Kudus is playing wide right, interestingly enough. That's interesting. Kudus has got 3 goals, by the way. Talisca's got 1 of them. Fulkrug has got a decent goal on him too. And Antonio is on the bench. So Rafinha isn't really playing. He's come on in 2 games as substitute, but he's not started. I wonder if that's a fitness thing. With all that being said, though, they've not started all that badly, have they? We can't really complain with that start under Graham Potter. What's going to be the real test, though, is coming back at the turn of the new year and seeing just how well he's done in comparison to Julen Lopetegui. Let's catch up then. January is upon us, and again, Graham Potter's still in the job. So on the 8th of January, he's doing better than Julen Lopetegui, although they did give him until the end of the day. So, potentially he's still got to worry about that. However, I don't think in reality he does, because the eagle-eyed among you will see they're sat in 4th. 21 games gone, 38 points on the board, an absolutely stonking start to the season for Graham Potter in his first season in charge. Again, quick show on the screen there. This is exactly where West Ham were at a very, very similar point. They'd played 20 matches, but as you can see, they were only 7 points clear of relegation. So I think we can all agree Graham Potter and the Hammers fans are going to be getting along swimmingly. In terms of transfers, obviously the window's now open. Has anything happened early in the window? No, not on the ins and not on the outs. But there's a little while to go, of course. So we're going to come back and show you exactly where they are up to. But let's have a very quick look at the scores on the doors. Talisca, having come in from Saudi Arabia, has done absolute bits for Graham Potter so far. Scoring 8 goals, he's the top goal scorer in the squad so far. Jarrod Bowen contributing 5 goals and 4 assists. More assists, though, coming from Alvarez, which is absolutely superb to see from that defensive midfielder position. He's doing great work from back here, in fairness to the boy. How else is everybody else doing? So 2 from Antonio. Nicholas Füllkrug, that point man, doing really, really well. 6 goals. Lucas Paquetá still there. 2 goals. And then, of course, they signed... he's coming in, right? He's not here yet. Who was the other boy they signed? Who's Rafinha? Only features as a substitute. 12 games as sub, 2 starts. So perhaps not what Graham Potter was hoping for from him in the first 6 months. But maybe it's a case of he's got to settle in. We'll see. We will see. Let's see how we get on for the end of the window. So I'll come back at the end of January once the winter window's shut, and we'll see if he does any business. And I will catch you shortly. Okay, he's opened up the purse strings. He has spent some money in the January window, and he spent it on another Brazilian. He's brought in a defensive midfielder in the guise of Pablo Maia. Not the worst transfer in the world. Some backup, of course, for Alvarez. He's brought him in from SPO, from the Brazilian First Division. So interesting to see how he does in the Premier League. Let's have a very, very quick look at him again. Yeah, decent in terms of tackling. Obviously, I've got masking hiding on here. I should have probably took it off before I did the experiment. But an interesting signing when you think about how he's playing, right? He's got those 2 players that he's relied on quite heavily in Rodriguez and Alvarez that's sitting there. But has he got any cover in the squad? Thomas Souček, maybe a little bit aging. Maybe he doesn't trust him. Carlos Soler, he's got in on loan from PSG, but it doesn't look like he's featured all that much this season. So maybe he wanted to bring somebody in with a little bit of flair, a little bit of quality. I quite like that. I like that he's opened up the purse strings again. As we approach the end of the season, then obviously it's 2024 in game, despite the fact that the updates have been done in the Premier League, of course. So there's no one running out of contract that's on a full-time contract with the club. So I'm not too concerned about that. He's not got anything to worry about really. Interesting. Look at that, 5.95 for Fabianski. He's never played again. Who was that he played against, I wonder? I don't know if he'll tell me. Played what? Oh, he only came on as a sub as well. Wounded. Yeah, okay. So he's got no one to worry about in terms of contracts. So it's going to be interesting in terms of what he does. We're now going to fast forward to the end of the season and see just how well he finishes up. A couple of weeks since we were last here, he's dropped into 5th, but he's still within spitting distance of 4th in Champions League football. Graham Potter is off to a flyer. Catch you shortly. Okay, and welcome back. Here we are at the end of the very first season of Graham Potter's reign in the Premier League with West Ham, and you can see they dropped off a little bit. They finished 7th, and it's just meant they've not quite qualified for European football. You can see Everton have qualified for football. I wonder whether that means they've won a cup. Speaking of cups, let's have a quick check just to see how West Ham got on in terms of the other competitions, to see if Graham Potter's added any silverware. It looks like they haven't. That's a real shame. So they got to the 5th round of the FA Cup, knocked out by Spurs. That'd have been a nightmare. and they got to the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup, knocked out by Everton. So I wonder whether Everton went on to win that. They did. They beat Spurs in the final, so at least Graham Potter can say we lost out to the people who went to win it. But Spurs managed to get some silverware, beating Newcastle in the FA Cup final. Massive result for them. From our perspective, though, West Ham, not the worst first season. I think if you're honest, Hammers fans, you'd take 7th right now, wouldn't you, in terms of where you are? From a squad perspective, I think he's built it quite well. There's no one that's going to be running out of contract anytime soon. That's a good thing. And obviously, he's going to go into a transfer window with some money to spend, and hopefully, he looks to reinvigorate that squad once more. Goal scoring, Talisca finishes as top goal scorer with 13. The 30-year-old's rocked in and contributed massive. Nicholas Fulkrieg with 9 from 28 starts. Jared Bowen with 9 from 37. So, they've contributed from all over the pitch. That's good to see. Assists, though, well, obviously he's on loan. Apologies, we won't use his numbers. Jared Bowen, the highest contributor. Where is Edson Alvarez was doing well? 7, yeah, he did very, very well. 6 down here, who's this? Rodriguez, yeah, was doing very, very well as well. So, really, really good to see those guys contributing. Let's have a quick look at the tactic just to see if anybody dropped in or dropped out. Not really. Really pleased to see Maya was on the bench. He featured 13 times, but again, only from the substitute bench. So he stuck with what he knew, and that's, to be fair, that's panned out. It looks like he was playing Bowen up top towards the end of the season, though. I wonder whether Fulcrew took an injury. I'm not sure. He looks to be fit right now. Anyway, nonetheless, 7th, season 1. I think that's a win. Let's see what he does in the transfer window. Okay, it's the start of season 2. Graham Potter's properly got his feet under the table right now, but he's not started the season as well as West Ham fans would hope. He's currently 20th. That doesn't bode well. Let's have a very quick look in terms of what's going on in the league before we look anywhere else. Played 3, lost 3. In fairness, 2 of those 3 have been against Liverpool and Arsenal. 1 away. You'd have hoped for a better result against Arsenal at home, perhaps, and perhaps better to get better against Leicester. But it's not been the ideal start. What's he done in the market? Let's have a quick look. Let's go back to West Ham. That'd probably be a better start, wouldn't it? Let's go back to West Ham first of all before we look at the transfers. Okay, so we knew about Vallejo. He's come in, and he's also signed Jamal Lewis, which is an interesting one. Jamal Lewis is a left back, has come in from Newcastle. Reasonable player. I don't think he's groundbreaking. He's come in. Anyone gone out of note? Maxwell Cornet's gone to Southampton, 6.2 million, rising to 7.75. Freddie Potts has gone to loan to Plymouth, 1.1 million, rising to 1.3. But nothing massive. Nothing massive in terms of transfer spend. So, I think he's in a net positive right now in terms of that kind of money. So I wonder whether he's under any kind of embargo when it comes to players coming in and out. Let's have a quick look in terms of the senior squad. Nothing really changes there, does it? Nothing really changes at all. And they're really struggling to register on the score sheet. Talisca and Emerson are the only people... Talisca and Emerson are the only people that have scored for the first team. So not the best start and not the most inspiring of transfer windows, Hammers fans. Let's see what he does by the end of the transfer window in January. Okay, it's January, season 2. He's turned it around. That's good news. He's still in a job. How well has he done since we were last here? So, start of the season. Let's scroll back. Where was it? There it was. Absolutely dire start. But then, what's that one? 5 from 6. Yeah, not bad. 6 from 8. Okay. Yeah, he's doing well. And the eagle-eyed among you will see that somehow, I don't know how, but they managed to creep into the Europa League last season based on league position. And they're doing reasonably well. They've qualified for the playoffs at least. Great news. How else are they doing in other competitions? Let's have a quick look. Let's have a quick look. Quick look. Overview competitions. Thank you. There we go. Right. They are in the FA Cup in the 4th round, but they have been... it's a replay. It's a replay against Sheffield United, who are in the Championship. They're 8th. And they've been knocked out by AFC Bournemouth, who are currently 1st in the Championship. And they were knocked out in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. Far from ideal. But was he rotating? I don't know. Let's have a look, see if he spent any money. Right. Yes, he has. He's spent some serious money, but he's also brought some serious money in. It looks like the extended window for foreign teams kicked in. Souček's gone out on loan with a 700k fee, and he sold Guido Rodriguez to Saudi Arabia for £69 million. So massively in the black there, but he did get to spend some of that. That's great news. He brought in Josep Martinez on loan. Looks like he's a backup keeper, in fairness to him, but he's brought him in on loan from Inter. He has spent some money on a player from Middlesbrough, Isaiah Jones, wing-back attacking midfielder right. Let's have a quick look. 2 very, very stand-up seasons for Middlesbrough. 1 full season in the Championship there where he's played pretty much every minute of every game, scoring 12 goals. And then 25 games the first half of the season. So Potter's taken a risk on him. 35 million rising to 39. And then he spent some serious money again. Well, 3.8 million, I suppose, isn't that serious in the world of Premier League, is it? But David Brooks, we all know David Brooks, decent player, good young player. Oh, well, last time I thought about him, he was young. Turns out he's 27. But decent player. But obviously, Bournemouth dropped down into the Championship as well. We know that. Let's have a quick look. Didn't really feature very much this season. Last season in the Premier League, played 19 times. Not a million miles off of 7. Maybe he's going to act as a backup. We don't know. Let's have a quick look now at the rest of it. Senior squad. Bowen's obviously out there, so Isaiah's going to come in as backup, I would assume, out there. It doesn't look like he's taking over Kufal's spot either at right back. Interesting, Ward-Prowse is back and playing. He's played 34 games, so you know he's not shy in terms of getting back into the first team there. And you probably wouldn't blame Graham for sticking him back in, would you? Absolutely boatloads of ability and can find a pass for days. Nicholas Füllkrug scored 10. Jared Bowen scored 12. Really, really nice to say. Talisca, again, 9, so still contributing, doing really well. Excellent. A really good comeback, I would suggest, from Graham Potter. What's the rest of the season entail? Have we got any contracts that are going to run out? Very quick scan of those. 2025, Danny Ings is going to run out of contract. Hasn't really featured. 5 appearances from the bench. It wouldn't surprise me to see him go in the summer. Kamari Swire, again, not really featured. Played a load of non-competitive ball. And Vladimir Kufal, is he going to stick around? They've got Wan-Bissaka and they've just signed Isaiah. What's going to happen in the summer? Let's find out. Welcome back to the end of Season 2. And as you can see, Rafa Benitez has been placed in charge at West Ham. That means, unfortunately, one Graham Potter has left the club. Not fantastic news at all. When did he join? Let's have a quick look. When did he join? No, I don't want to see his career stats as a player, do I? Milestones, maybe. West Ham, 13th of April, he was appointed. Graham Potter did not last all that long in reality. They finished 11th this season. Not fantastic, I suppose you would have to say. Not fantastic. Let's have a very quick look at the other competitions they were in. How did they do in the other ones? They were knocked out in the round of 16 to Real San Sebastian in the Europa League. Sheffield United did knock them out in the replay. Not great in the FA Cup, I suppose, either. How did his signings do? Let's have a quick look at that in terms of players played. So what have we got? We've got Talisca again. Well, he didn't score again from January, unfortunately. Jared Bowen was playing up front in the end again. But then Füllkrug did get 17 goals. Isaiah Jones, 18 games from the bench, so really just a backup player in fairness. Pablo Maya never really featured as a starting player either. David Brooks, again, backup player. He's now been listed, so that transfer hasn't gone well at all. Other than that, really nothing else to speak of. Vallejo, who he brought in, 5 games from the bench, 3 starting. Really not the best when it comes to this season from Graham Potter. If we just have a quick look, not great at all. Quickly go back and have a look in terms of the performance in individual games. To finish 11th has been far from ideal. Schedule, if we go back to April when he was relieved of his duties, let's have a quick look. Okay, so he was relieved about here, right? The loss for Villa saw him off. He had a really poor March, not a great February, in all honesty. Lost the opening two. The cup game won't have done him any favours. Drew against Leeds, a game he probably should have been winning. Beat Young Boys, well done. Then he lost to Palace, not great. But then got a win again in the UEFA Europa League, great stuff. Respectable draw to United. Then travelled to Craven Cottage, got beat. Got beat away in the away leg against San Sebastian. Probably a game that you would expect West Ham to be winning, but they lost against Spurs. That won't have gone down well. Drew against Brighton at home, and then they just had enough. The win against Brentford wasn't enough for the board, and as soon as he got beat against Villa at home, that was it. They decided they needed to make a change, and they acted decisively. West Ham finish 11th for that season. They've let Potter go after just over 18 months, Hammers fans. They've brought in Rafa Benitez. If that's the case after 18 months, what are you saying? Are you happy with that or not? I would suggest not. I hope you've enjoyed that. Let's see how it pans out in real life. I'll catch you all in the next one.